Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. I hope that you have had a fantastic 2023. In today's video I am going to be talking you through all of my makeup favourites from the year. I am going to be doing a hair care and skincare version of this that will be coming in a few days, but today is all about the makeup. That is what we are here for. So all of this is affordable and it's all cruelty free. That's all I do on my channel here, and I will say that not all of these products are things that are necessarily launched this year. They're not things that are like 2023 specific, not things that have come out this year, but there may be things that I have tested this year, or just things that when I was thinking back to what bronzer have I been using all year long. And I will warn you, that is not a 2023 specific product, it's just one that I have been obsessed with all year long. So without further ado, let's get into it. I recommend that you get a beverage of your choice. I'm having a chamomile tea, and let's just get started with primers. Now there's two primers for most of this. There is more than one recommendation, but I do have two primers and they serve quite different purposes for me. So firstly is the Revolution CC Swirl primer. As you can see, I don't know how well you can see, but I am like more than halfway through this. I have the driest skin. I have such dry, dehydrated skin. As soon as I'm finished doing my skincare routine in the morning, I'm like, I need more hydration, and this is really, really lovely and hydrating. When I first tried this, I didn't think very much to it. I was hoping that it was going to be this amazing colour corrector where I maybe wouldn't need to go on with as much coverage over the top. I was hoping that it was going to be something like that, and it's not. I don't find that I'm reaching for this for the colour correcting qualities, but for the hydration, this is absolutely unparalleled. It is so nice. I'm going to be using this one today, but the other one that I wanted to mention is my favourite glowy primer. So this year and last year everybody was doing glowy primers. The e.l.f. Halo Glow, that was my favourite one from last year. The collection one, there was a Beauty Bay one, but this is my favourite one. This is the Beauty Crop Glow Milk Primed. I didn't think, again another one, I didn't think that I would like it that much. I thought that it was going to show up really yellowy. This is in the shade Honey, and I was sent this, but I would absolutely repurchase this with my own money when I run out of it, which I think is going to be quite soon. It's so nice. It's got a pump, which I prefer because this mixed in with a foundation is just perfection. I'm including this in my primer category because technically it is a primer, but I don't use it like that. I don't apply this all over the face and then go over the top with a foundation. I mix this in with my foundation and it just dials down the coverage a little bit, amps up the glow, leaves the skin looking and feeling so lovely and glowy. My favourite glowy primer, but not to use as a primer. But like I say, I'm going to use the Revolution one today because I'm just dry as anything. So a few pumps of that. It looks blue, it looks scary, but it doesn't go on like that on the skin. And I'm just going to rub this all over the skin. So you can see it doesn't leave the skin looking blue. It doesn't really, I find, do any sort of colour correcting. The blue is more like, it's very sheer. You don't see it at all on the skin. It's just the most beautiful hydrating base that leaves your skin feeling so lovely. I don't believe that this would be for everybody. If you had oily skin, it would be too much, I feel. And it's not the sort of thing that's going to smooth. It's not the sort of thing that's going to necessarily elongate the wear of your foundation. But as a base to really prep the skin perfectly for foundation and such things, can't be beaten. So again, for foundation I have got two. that's going to be a theme here, but I do feel like these, again, are quite different. One of them, if you watch my videos, you will absolutely be able to guess, and the other one I feel like is a bit of a curveball. I use it in real life, but not so much on camera, so you might not know that it's going to be one of my favourites. So the one that you will absolutely know, the Sleek in Your Tone foundation. I tried this in January and I have not stopped using it since. I am amazed that there is still product left in here. Truly, I use this so often. How do I still have product left in here? I do not know. And this is the one, again, this is the one that I'm going to be using today because this is an empty bottle. I have, you might notice that my little cubby hole here with all of my empties in has gone. I have filmed my makeup empties and this was in it. This is the XX Revolution Soft Blur Skin Focus Skin Tint. I've been through 2 of these this year. That is how much I love this foundation. I've been through 2. Granted, the first one that I went through was not my shade. This is my shade, Light Sand. I am going to pick this up. I'm hoping that there's going to be some quite good Boxing Day sales, and I'm going to pick up a replacement for this because it is fantastic. It's, like the name would suggest, it is a skin tint. It is a soft, blurring, very light coverage feeling, very easy to blend out sort of foundation. This is what I wear just on an everyday basis. It lasts fantastically. It's not too heavy, just for an everyday sort of a thing, but also it just cancels everything out, leaves me feeling really sort of skin confident, where it's not like a mask of product. It does still look very natural, but it just makes me feel a little bit better about like the redness, discoloration, etc, etc. Big fan. If you haven't tried these, I highly recommend. And these are £10, and like I say, I'm hoping that they're going to be on a really good Boxing Day sort of a sale because repurchasing 100%. But I'm going to use the Sleek one today, and I do feel like that primer has sunk in nicely, so I'm just going to take a few pumps of this. I have also tried this mixed in with that Glow Hub primer that I don't use as a primer, and that looks really nice. I'm not going to do that today because I feel like I want quite a glam sort of a look. So going in with my Eco Tools Bio Blender. Every time I get these, they're a different colour. Sometimes they're green and sometimes they're purple. Today's is a purple one. And I'm just going to bounce this all over the skin. Oh, it's just such a beautiful foundation. Now for concealer. What concealer do you think I have chosen? The 17 Second Skin Enhancing Concealer. I have been through one. I can't remember when I actually tried this. It was this year. I have been through one and I repurchased it before I ran out. Like, I am not ever being without this concealer. And that is how you know I really love this. I've only picked one concealer for my favourites. It's so good. This is just, it can't be beaten for me. It looks incredible. It lasts so well. It doesn't crease. It's not the most coverage. Like, I feel like it looks really nice and natural. It is sort of a medium coverage, but it's really nice and hydrating but not greasy looking on the eyes, which I feel like some concealers are when they are more of a hydrating formula. I do feel like they are often sort of very shiny looking and like greasy looking around the eyes, which just is not what I go for. So I'm quickly going to go off and do my brows. I'm not very particular about brow products. Last year's favourite was the e.l.f. Instant Lift, and if I was to choose a pencil, honestly I change up what brow pencil I use pretty much every single day, but I have been loving this one, which is the e.l.f. Instant Lift Waterproof Brow Pencil. Like I say, any brow pencil is good for me, but I have to finish off my brows with the e.l.f. Wow Brow. That is absolutely non-negotiable. This is the best brow gel. The Beauty Bay one is nice, I prefer this one, and this is just a match made in heaven for my brows. But like I say, I do change up what brow pencil I use very, very often. If you were to hold a gun to my head, this would be my favourite one. So that is the brows on. Like I say, I just absolutely love those two together. And just for reference, the colour that I wear in the pencil is neutral brown, and the colour that I wear in the Wow Brow is brunette. And this is the look that it gives. I absolutely love it. So onto bronzer. I have 3. I've got 2 cream liquid favourites and then 1 powder favourite. So first up, the liquid favourites is the Collection Filter Finish Liquid Wand Contour in the lightest shade. That's just the one that works for me. Then cream is the MUA Bronzed. This is the cream bronzer in the shade Butterscotch. And that's what that looks like. I like these two because they come in different shades, firstly, so you can actually get one that matches you perfectly. They blend out so beautifully. They leave the skin looking so beautiful and bronzed and juicy looking. These two, I would be happy if I only had these 2 cream liquid bronzers in my collection. I've got a whole drawer, but if I just had these 2, I would be absolutely fine with that. Like, these are the best of the best. And then the powder bronzer that I have chosen, if you're just not a cream bronzer kind of gal, this is the same one that was my favourite last year. This is the same one this year. It's the e.l.f. Primer Infused Bronzer, and this is in the shade Forever Sunkissed. Again, I do believe they have more shades of this, so you can get one. I struggle to get into this with my long nails, but this is just a completely matte bronzer. It's the perfect colour for adding, again, that juicy, warm, sun-kissed look to very pale skin. But I think I'm going to go in with the MUA one today. I'm feeling like a cream bronzer, so going to use a Real Techniques Expert face brush. If I can find, I've tidied all of my brushes away and they're like in the wrong place in my pot now. So, Real Techniques Expert Face Brush, get a little bit of the cream bronzer on the brush, and I can just start warming up the skin. I find that this is the best cream bronzer. Like I said, I've tried a lot. I've tried a lot of them. This one is the perfect level of not too pigmented, but still really nice and creamy, blends out really nicely. I can still build it up if I want a little bit more colour, but it's not just going to go on like the most intense pigment on the first swipe. A lot of cream bronzers are like that. I find that a lot are too pigmented, just straight on like one little dip, and then the first swipe is just too pigmented, and I struggle to then try and blend it out. So you can see that this bronzer is just giving my skin a little bit of life. I will just apologise if you're noticing that my nose is bright red. I wouldn't say I've got a cold, I wouldn't go that far, but I can't stop sneezing, so that is why my nose is looking red. I'm ignoring it, I hope you can as well. But I don't even feel like I necessarily need to go over the top with a powder bronzer. I do feel like this cream bronzer sort of doesn't set down. I wouldn't say that it sets down, but it almost sort of melts into the skin and leaves it looking like powder, but you've got the sort of lovely blendability of a cream. I love it. Oh, and it also smells great, which is always a plus. Now, I'm going to need you to just take a deep breath. How many blushes do you think I've got in my favourites? Knowing me, how many do you think I've chosen? Would you guess 8? You would be right. Yes, I've picked 8, and here is my reasoning. So, I like to change my blush up for the season. So I've got 4 that are like summery and 4 that are autumn wintery. let me live. Yes, these are genuinely all my favourites. If I just had these in my collection, I would be thrilled. Just let me have 8, okay? I'm a little bit more cutthroat with some of the other categories. Just let me have 8 blushes. Thank you so much. Starting with the cream liquid blushes. This year has been all about the liquid blushes. I think we can all agree. I feel like everybody has been coming out with liquid blushes this year, and a lot of people have been getting them so right. Starting with what I would say is probably the top tier for me, the Collection Filter Finish Blush Wands. I could have, you know, just chosen one, but like I say, summer and like autumn winter, I've picked 2 shades. So I've got Berry Glow, which is the one that I love at this time of year. I love a deeper blush in the winter, so really love that one for at this time of year. But in the summer, this is one that I was absolutely loving. This is Peach Pleasure, so slightly lighter, slightly brighter, more of that peachy tone, like the name would suggest. I absolutely love both of these, above the e.l.f. ones, above any of the other shimmery liquid ones that I've tried. These are the best of the best. I also really loved, surprisingly, again I wasn't expecting to love this product, the Revolution Pro Matte Liquid Blush Wand, and this is in the shade Stripped. This for a matte blush look, but still with the convenience of having a liquid, I love. And also what I love about, oh, I didn't realise how messy this was going to look, don't judge me. What I love about the Revolution ones is that they have the little like twisty stoppery thing, so I was about to say it stops it from getting so messy when mine is absolutely covered in product, but that just shows you that I do genuinely love that. I use it all the time, and again, that is more of my winter shade. This is what I would consider like an autumnal winter shade. I did pick up the peachier one, the middle shade, or even, no, this was the middle shade. I did also pick up the lightest shade, but I'm saving that for spring because I think that it's going to be absolute perfection for spring. And then I would say one of my favourites from summer, one that I don't feel like I spoke about that much, but I was genuinely using so much in spring and summer, is the Made by Mitchell Liquid Blush in Peach Sugar. That is the most perfect peachy summery shade for me. These are so intensely pigmented, like I struggle to use them sometimes if I don't have the patience to just do a little bit, blend it out and build it up if I need it. If I want something where I'm just mindlessly doing my makeup, barely even looking in a mirror at like 6:30 in the morning before I go to work, then I'll choose the Collection ones. If I'm doing a look, if I'm doing something where I'm like focusing a little bit more and like I've got a little bit more time, the Made by Mitchell ones are perfect. They are so beautiful. And then I've got 4 powder blushes, again like summer and autumn winter. 4 matte powder blushes. I didn't think I would love this one as much as I do, but I've used this a ton. It is the Milani Rose Powder Blush in Coral Cove, and if I show you this up close, it barely even looks like I've touched it, but in summer I was absolutely obsessed with this. It gave the most beautiful bright pop of peach to the skin, like it actually comes off that colour. It's so beautiful. Milani is a brand that I really got into in a very big way this year. And did I say that this is a matte formula? I've got 2 mattes and 2 shimmery ones, and the other matte one, this is more of an all year round shade for me, is the e.l.f. Primer Infused Blush in Always Rosy. They don't have these online anymore. Are these being discontinued? If they are, I'm really sad about that because I love them. So that is what the shade looks like. I do feel like this is one that I can wear all year round. Like, it's bright enough for me to wear in summer, but I can definitely build it up and get something really intense and a little bit deeper in winter if that's what I'm going for. And then the two glowy blushes that I have picked, glowy powder blushes that I have picked, are both Milani ones. So these are the Milani Baked Powder blushes. I have got Berry Amore, which is my autumn shade. I do not stop using this in autumn. It is the most perfect berry, slightly deep tone that's got the most beautiful golden glow to it. Really warms up the skin. And then Luminoso. I did try this one this year. This has been a favourite for years. Berry Amore, absolute staple for years. Again, amazed that I still have some left. Luminoso is one that I tried in the summer. I've been putting off trying it for years. Obviously this was a cult favourite years and years ago. I absolutely love this. I didn't think that this would suit my skin tone. I didn't think that I would love it that much, but in summer I was only reaching for this. Probably over the top of that collection blush wand in Peach Pleasure. Those two together were just perfection. But we're not in summer. We are not in the summery, warm, nice times. So I'm going to be going in with more of my wintry shades, and I think I'm just going to use Milani today. I'm like looking at all my favourites here. This is the one that I want to use. This is the one that I want to use today. So Milani Baked Powder Blush in Berry Amore. And I'm just taking a Real Techniques blush brush and I'm just going to add a little bit of this. So it just adds the most beautiful, glowy, blushy flush of colour. I cannot believe I took so long to try Luminoso. What a staple. I feel like everybody has gone on about that for years and I was like, I just won't like it. I love it. So as you can see, that blush is just adding a really nice level of glow, a really nice level of like luminosity to the skin. I am going in with a highlight today. It's my favourite one from last year as well. It's the one that I am always going on about. It is the Revolution Highlighter Reloaded in Just My Type. I cannot stop using this. I have used this for years. I am amazed that there's still like so much product left in there. Like, I use this so much. How is there still so much product left in there? And this is £4. Like, are you okay, Revolution? Like, blink twice if you need help. How do they make this for £4 and it lasts me 7 million years? I absolutely cannot stop going on about it. It's so smooth on the skin. It genuinely just makes it look like your skin is hydrated and healthy looking, which mine is not. It makes the skin look so beautiful and glowy. It's not in any way chunky or glittery. It just smooths over the skin in the most beautiful way. It blends in to anything that you already have on. This over the top of liquids, over the top of powders, just on the skin by itself. Perfection. I absolutely love. If you've watched any of my videos where I'm talking about like my favourite products or like makeup that I wear for my wedding day, like that is how you know a product is like top tier, and so many of these are in those sorts of videos. I love, never ever want to be without. And if you just look at the packaging, like you can tell how much I love this. Like, there's no writing left on it. Everything is like completely rubbed off. I travel with this. I absolutely love. So at this stage, if I felt like I needed it, which I don't necessarily feel like I do today, I would go in with my setting powder, and I have two to talk about. 17. So affordable. The most incredible pressed powder. This is the Ultimate Look finishing powder. I had this in more of a summery shade, which is shade 2, but this is shade 1, which just works pure perfection for me. It is so smoothing, blurs everything out, doesn't dry my skin out, just sets things down exactly where you've put it, but never looks heavy or cakey. It genuinely just looks so smooth. I like taking a little triangle puff and I will dab into the product and then dab it off on the back of my hand so that I don't get too much, and then press it into my skin, and it just blurs absolutely everything out. So that's a pressed powder. I do generally take those like in my handbag if I'm going out for the day. I will take that with me, but I do like to use a loose powder when I'm first applying my makeup, and this is the one that stands out from the year. It's a fairly new one, but it's my favourite one of the year. It is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out powder. I might just use a little bit of this. Since we're here, I'll just use a little bit. So it has a like mesh sifter in it, so that you don't get too much product. I'm just gonna, like I say, take the little triangle puff. I'm dipping into the product and then stamping it off on the lid so that I don't get too much, because otherwise like it is quite easy to go overboard with powders. So just really gonna tap off that powder so that I don't get too much, and I'm just gonna set right down there. Again, this blurs, this genuinely blurs out pores, it blurs out any shininess. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like a flat matte. It does still leave your skin looking really, really nice and sort of soft, I would describe it as. But these with the little triangle puffs have changed the powder game for me this year. Like I say, I don't really feel like I needed a powder, but we're here, we're doing it, we're doing the favourites. So that's the powders. And then for setting sprays, again, firm favourite here, one that I'm fairly certain was in my favourites last year. My phone has just died, so I can't look it up. The e.l.f. Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. This is a brand new one. I am so excited. I do feel like I want just a little bit. It's the most fine spray. It just leaves the thinnest layer of setting spray across your skin. It melts everything in, so everything looks so seamless. Like everything just sort of dampens and sinks in and just looks so flawless. But genuinely, again, another one, I wore this on my wedding day. I would absolutely choose it again. That is the only setting spray that I use. I've been through so many of them. Spoiler for the empties that's coming next week, I've been through two. I've been through two this whole year, and that's my third one. I'm so excited. Let's move on to the eyes. I've got a lot of favourites in this category as well. I apologise. Only one primer though, only one eye primer. This is the Beauty Bay Eye Base. I've got this in the shade 2, and this all over the eyelids, blended out just a little bit, just a little something all over the eyelids, and then blended out with a brush, locks in your eyeshadows, makes them more pigmented, makes them stick on. I'm trying to find my brush whilst I talk. Yeah, I was an eye primer skeptic, and I am converted. This is the best one that I've tried. Again, tried a few. This is the only one that I would consider repurchasing. Even this, genuinely, just all over the eye to like cancel out any discoloration, any veins, anything like that, is just perfection. I absolutely love it. But the way that it like grabs onto your eyeshadow, especially if you're doing something that you want to be quite impactful, that you want to be really pigmented, you want that pigment to stick and you want it to last all day, that's the eye primer that you need. So for eyeshadow palettes, I've got 4. I'm like trying to justify it to you. You absolutely know what I'm like. I've got 4 eyeshadow palette favourites, starting with the MUA ones. These completely took me by surprise. So the one that came out in the summer is Neon oh, dropping it on the floor, Neon Lights, and I picked this up and I was like, it's going to be a beautiful neon palette. But truly, this shade down in the bottom corner, this has a huge dint in it. I don't know if you can even tell. Trying to like angle it. This has a huge dint in it. I'd use this just all over the lid every single day. It's the most beautiful, like the most incredible duochrome that sort of shifts to whatever eyeshadow look you've got on underneath. So this shade obviously comes with all of these different colours. You can do a green and blue look, then put this over the top and it will like shift green and blue. You can do a pink and purple look, put this shade over the top and it will go pink and purple. It is the most versatile shade I have ever had the pleasure of using. So obviously that's the one that like came out in the summer. They then brought out Nocturnal, which was their winter release, their like autumn winter release. Much deeper, much darker, much smokier, but again this has got Stellar, which is that same sort of an effect, but this is slightly deeper. So between both of these I am absolutely done for summer and autumn looks. I do feel like as I was sort of looking back in my mind's eye as to what products I have been using all year long and the ones that I was like fully obsessed with for the first half of the year, absolutely no doubt that this one had been a chokehold. Truly, for the first half of the year, this is the Beauty Bay Retro Love 20 colour palette, and this is another one. I don't feel like this even looks like it's had really any use, but cannot wait for spring to come back around to be using these shades. One of the shades in here as well, called Love Train, that white in the centre on the top row, is like a topper, sort of very iridescent glitter, which just remember that when I'm talking about some more products in a minute. And also, I do feel like I haven't mentioned this palette so much in autumn. It's definitely one that I was reaching for on camera all the time in the summer, and I don't feel like I've necessarily been filming with it all that much in autumn, but absolutely one that I've been using in my real life off camera, the Sample Beauty The Plush palette. I have been absolutely obsessed with this year, and again, I don't feel like you can necessarily tell. Like, so many of these things, I use them all of the time and you can't even tell. Like, apart from the things that obviously I actually finish, but this just has everything. For somebody like me who on an everyday basis, I will just wear neutrals, maybe with a pop of colour every now and again, but generally when I'm going off to work, I just want easy. I just want neutral. I want a little pop of glitter, maybe. This has just done it all for me. When I've been away a few times this year, I've only taken this with me. It's got a really big mirror, so I don't have to then take another mirror with me. I love this palette, and again, this is another one. The Sample Beauty Instagram page hasn't been touched in like 3 years, which is making me quite nervous, but I love this. So I think because I haven't used this in quite a while, I am going to use the Sample Beauty Plush palette. So I've got a little fluffy brush. I'm not going to zoom you in just because I can't stop sneezing and my nose is bright red and I don't want to zoom you in for that. So I'm going to take a little fluffy brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Loafer, which I would say out of this whole palette is probably my most used shade. It's just the perfect mid-warm brown, perfect for me for just whacking something through the crease. I'm only going to use a few shades out of this palette because I've got something else that I want to pop on the top, but just this one brown shade called Loafer, and I'm going to just run that through the crease. So that is just that one shade, Loafer, like through the crease and blended right out. I'm gonna stick with the same brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Americano, this dark, more cool toned brown, and I'm just going to keep that on the lid, just on the outer corner, just to add a little bit of depth, and again blend that out. So that is just those two eyeshadows blended right out, and I'm going on to a different category of eyeshadows now. And I'm saying eyeshadows, but I'm saying that loosely because none of these products that I've got in the next category are actually eyeshadows. They're all highlights, but this is eyeshadow toppers, or the products that I use as eyeshadow toppers. And like I say, I've got three, and I do know which one I'm going to be using today, so I'll start with the other ones. The Profusion Candlelight Rituals Full Moon Highlighter. I did a short when I first got this, and I don't know if you're even going to be able to see, but this is like a white to purple duochrome, almost pinky shift that looks incredible on the lid with this sort of a look, but just like across the lid, then with a big old wing. Absolutely love it. Use that all the time, and I feel like this year I've really lent into the sort of individual eyeshadows and the eyeshadow toppers. The next one that I wanted to mention is the Collection Diamond Shine Highlighter. I used this recently and I can't remember what look it was. Oh, it was the viral products of the year. This is the chunkiest, the glitteriest highlight that I have ever seen. I get it, some people like that look. That is absolutely not for me. I love this on the eyes. I don't love it on the face, but the one that I'm going to be using today, again, is Profusion, and again, is one of their like limited edition collabs, but I'm hoping that they're going to keep this around for a little while. This is the Casper the Friendly Ghost Ghosting You Holographic Highlighter, and I do believe if I get the angle right on this, you might be able to see. It's sort of similar to that candlelight one where it's white, but then when this one catches the light, it's almost blue. It's like so blue, it's almost green. Like, it's the most incredible shift. If I just show you that little swatch there, you can see how it's like almost iridescent, like it's almost see-through where you can't really see it until it catches the light, and then it's so intense. So I'm going to be using this one today, this Casper one, so I feel like it will match my jumper quite nicely. If I just tap this on the lid and sort of where I haven't put that other eyeshadow, then it'll stick really nicely and you'll be able to see how intense that shift is. Oh, I absolutely love it. So that is 2 layers all over the eye, and I'm just going back in with that fluffy brush that we applied the eyeshadow with, just so that there aren't any edges. But the incredible shift, I do feel like sort of makeup has come on quite a lot this year with these like duochromes. I feel like last year they were like really getting them right in like high-end brands, and now like the high street is getting that. Like, we're getting really amazing duochrome eyeshadows and duochrome highlighters and eyeshadow toppers, things like that, and I'm absolutely in love with how that looks. So I need to go off and blow my nose again. Oh my goodness, I feel like you are witnessing in real time me getting a cold today. Like, it's slowly taking over my body, but the show must go on. I have 3 liquid eyeliners. If you know me, you know how much I love a big black or brown wing. You know it is my look. I absolutely love it. So these 2 will be absolutely no surprise to you, the Profusion Everlasting Waterproof Liquid Liners in the black and in the brown. I feel like ever since I tried the brown, I am obsessed. I cannot stop using it. It is the perfect chocolatey, rich brown that just makes my eye colour pop. I feel like everybody would look good in the brown. If you don't like the harshness of a black, but you like the look of a wing, this is absolutely the one for you. These last all day long. They do not budge even in the hot of the summer. These absolutely stay put. If you're crying, these stay put. If you're having a mental breakdown, these stay put. Absolutely cannot fault these. I absolutely love them. And then one that's a bit of a curveball that you maybe don't realise I love, but I use, again, quite a lot, is the Catrice Brush Ink Tattoo Liner Waterproof. Oh my goodness, that completely scrambled my brain, didn't it? You can like hear inside how much of a liquid this is. It has a brush tip, which I just feel like, again, changes the game, makes it so easy, and again, stays put really well. So if you find these ones a little bit difficult to use, where you have to keep putting the brush into the actual liquid to get more product, you just want something in a pen that's like one and done, really easy, this is absolutely the liquid eyeliner that you need. I wouldn't want to choose between the two of these. I think that they are both absolutely fantastic, and like I say, do not budge. That is all I need from a liquid eyeliner. I want it to be dark, I want it to be easy to use, and it not budge. A lot of them are dark, a lot of them are easy to use, but if they smudge even the slightest bit, or fade or crumble, anything like that, I'm not going to use them. I am just not going to. So I think I'm going to use the Catrice one today, because I always go on about the Profusion ones. You must be bored of me talking about them, so I am going to go off. I'm like looking for my mirror. I'm going to go off and do a wing. And honestly, I'm going to try and not sneeze whilst I do this, because that would be disastrous. So that is the liquid eyeliner. It's not my best work, don't look closely. I'm struggling to breathe, I can't lie. I'm just struggling. Life, I am. So I have 3 mascaras, and these are all ones that I tested this year. 2 of them are brand new this year, and one of them is an old one that I only tried for the first time this year. So the 2 that are brand new this year are the 17 Maximum Curl Mascara. I am so surprised at how much I love this, considering I think that this was like £3. If you are on a budget, if you are living life on a budget, this is a fantastic mascara. It is so thickening and so dramatic and so curling and lengthening, but lasts incredibly well. The other one that was new this year is the Beauty Bay High Key Mascara. Again, I've been through a few of these. This is sort of similar to the Maximum Curl one, but I would say that this one is more sort of separating, where you get a very still thickened and still dramatic look, but the Maximum Curl one, I would say, sort of clumps your lashes together a little bit more. This one is quite separating, but also very thickening and very dramatic. And then the last one that I would say is a fan favourite from this year is the Milani Highly Rated Anti-Gravity Mascara. This one is so thickening, so lengthening, so dramatic looking. This is actually drying out a little bit, so I don't think I want to use that one today. I think it's time for a new tube of that, which I already have one in my drawers waiting to go. I'm gonna go with the Beauty Bay High Key Mascara. So I'm gonna do a couple of layers of this and I will be right back. So that is a couple of coats of mascara, desperately trying to not sneeze, because that would just be a complete disaster if I started having a little sneezing fit now, and my mascara would go absolutely everywhere and it would just be the end of me, I think. So on to the lips. We are finally getting to the end of this video. Honestly, if you've stuck around this long, thank you. Thank you for being here. But lips. Firstly, lip liners. I have got 3. Got 3 favourites. First up, the Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner. This is the first lip liner, like I say, that I tried that like really made me understand why people love lip liners. Before I tried this one, I was like, yeah, lip liner's fine, like whatever. This makes my face look finished. until I have a lip liner now, I don't feel like I'm done. Like, I'm looking in the mirror now and obviously I'm not feeling funky fresh, but I'm like, you don't look good until I've got my lip liner and then obviously something else on over the top. But I feel like a lip liner really finishes off and elevates a look now. And this was the first one that I tried this year where I was like, I get it. I'm sorry, but my eyes have gone bright red now from just having a sneezing fit. The Relove Super Fill Lip Liner in the shade Sweet. This is a little bit too pink for me. I do definitely want to pick up another shade, but this is so creamy. You can sharpen it. This is a sharpenable one, where the Essence one is a mechanical one to twist it up. This, I was so shocked. This was like one of the first lip liners that I tried that was a sharpenable one, where I was like, I think I might actually like that. I'd only ever tried mechanical ones before where I'm like completely in love with the formula. This is so creamy. I always think of a sharpenable pencil as being too firm, as being sort of scratchy. Like, historically that's just how they've sort of been for me, but this is so creamy and such a beautiful formula and Relove, so it's so affordable. Definitely want to pick up more shades of that. But from the year, if I'm thinking of the year as a whole, this is my favourite one, the e.l.f. Cream Glide Lip Liners. I do also love the mechanical ones, the Love Triangle Lip Filler Lip Liners. Do also love those, but I prefer these ones. So this is in the shade Truth or Bare, and I'm going to use this one today, which is potentially look how red my nose is, potentially a mistake trying to do any sort of lip product, but let's just go with it. And as you are watching this video, I am hoping that all of those fancy newest releases from e.l.f. will be with me and I can film that soon. Yes, of course, I bought a hydrating version of the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Of course, that basically had my name written all over it. And then for actual lip products, not lip liners, but others, let's start with the actual lipsticks. So this is so underrated. I hear nobody talk about these. They're absolutely fantastic. The MUA Satin Sheen Lip Stylos. I brought this one over in Super Nude. This is by a country mile most worn shade. It is the most perfect nude shade if you are incredibly fair, such as myself. They've got so many shades, I'm getting them all. I am doing a full swatch try on video of every single shade of these as soon as I have got all of the shades. I've still got a few left to get, but cannot stop going on about those. I also really love Milani. This is 410 Pleasure. Again, if you're wanting nude, you're wanting the nudist of nude, you're wanting like one step up from the concealer lips of my youth, then this is a really beautiful but very matte look. The MUA one is more of a, it feels like a lip balm. It feels really nice and hydrating like a lip balm, but gives you the colour payoff of a lipstick. Obviously it is that satin sheen formula, so it does wear off, but massive fan. Then I also just had to mention the e.l.f. glossy lip stains. As I was like getting all of these products together, I was like, I know I've got some e.l.f. products in my handbag that I take to work. I had 2 of the lip liners and I had 3 of the e.l.f. glossy lip stains. I had the berry shade, I had the red shade, and I had this one in my handbag that I take to my place of work every single day. That is how much I love them, and I honestly could not even tell you how long they have been in there. I just love them. I wear these so often. This is the shade Pinkies Up. I think this is probably what I'm going to wear today just because I feel like I need the hydration. But these genuinely leave a stain on the lips. If you're wanting something that is that glossy finish, but you're maybe having a long day, maybe you're going to work, maybe you're just going out for the day and you want the colour to last all day, even these lighter shades, they stain your lips in the most beautiful way. I have every single shade and I love every single shade. Like, truly, there's not one of them that I'm like, I could have done without you. I love them all. And then lastly, one of my favourite products of the year, truly, because it's just perfection, the e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil. This is in the shade Red Delicious. This is probably one of the most hyped up products of the year, but rightly so. I feel like this just exceeded my expectations. It's one of the first lip oils that I tried where I'm like, that feels like it's actually doing something. Like, it looks lovely, but it also really feels like it's lovely and hydrating as well. Obviously, I haven't ever tried the Dior ones. That e.l.f. one is absolutely beautiful. I am, however, going to go in with the glossy lip stain in Pinkies Up because I need a little bit of hydration, okay? But I am going out in a minute and I want this colour to last. I don't actually know when this video is going up, but I'm filming it a few days before Christmas and I'm going out in a minute to do my big Christmas shop and I'm excited. I love doing the big Christmas food shop. I know, I must be absolutely bananas. That is me done. These are all of my favourite products of the year. I apologise for sneezing and sniffling my way through that one. I can't lie, I'm not feeling much better for it, but that is the finished look. All of my favourite products. So let me know, are any of these your favourites as well? Have I inspired you to do a full face of all of your favourite products? Because I highly, highly recommend it. If I wasn't feeling so rotten, I would feel great. But let me know. I would love to know what your favourite products of the year has been. If you have made it to the very end of this video, I just wanted to say a massive, massive thank you for your support through the year, through the ups and the downs. Here's to 2024, but thank you ever so much for supporting my little corner of the internet. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.